written in scripture that life starts with mystery. But what is mystery, and how much does it weigh? It is a question that has plagued humanity throughout history. Like the crash of ocean waves against craggy, unseen peaks, it is unending. Some say there's no meaning. Others that the truth is held only by God. A few go so far as to say that life only exists to propagate itself further. But whatever the truth may be, it is endlessly obfuscated by the feeble human mind, destined not to be uncovered by the hand of mortal. But Slappy is no mortal. Slappy is human, as any other might be, but in Slappy's outstretched palm is the truth and mystery, the light and dark, the sun and night. He holds the answer out for you. Take it, and the mystery shall end. But be warned, for once it sets in, the infestation begins. Welcome to Rat 2.
Slappy never had a beat, never had a lover, never had a job, nor a yacht, nor a butler. I don't got a lot of fame, so I won't talk about charting. Really, I'm just starting. But by the time it's done, I'll be the one that wins the 1v1s, heavyweight champion of the world. Haters coming at me for my belt. But if you ever heard Slappy took an L, just know I died before I fell. The world runs not on Duncan, but on dubs, and I'm a burning shrub, a prophet talking to a scrub, preaching to the guys from the yacht club. They might hear me speak and get stunned. You manage a hedge fund, but I'm the one that gives wins, and I don't refund. This album was gonna be about something, still might be, but for now I'm boisterous, boasting about things I have not done, because I'm loitering. I say that, but it's already begun. Rat 2, does it scare you? Already better than the rest, and got no beat. When I make an album, you know it's gonna be a treat. And I don't claim to be a king, not yet. I'm native of a throne, but to get there, I'll need bread, butter, grease, and dough. Gotta get that bread, gotta get that bread, gotta get that bread, gotta get that dough. Harvest the grain, get the yeast, metaphor for money. Yeah, I'm cooking a feast, bake that bread. Yeah, I always knew I was a rat and a thug. Start a harvest, yeah, get that dough. Yeah, make the coffers flow. Yeah, these so-called chefs trying to step on my toe, but I'm smooth like butter and hot like the grease. No matter what you do, I'm 500 degrees. Haters mad when heat make the dough grow. They can't handle me, man, but I don't give a shit. I'm way up in my head, I just wanna bake that bread. Gotta get that bread, gotta get that dough. Gotta make this album go, gotta bake with this flow. Man, I feel like a snake, like the Leviathan. Man, I'll eat the bread, butter, grease, and dough in one gulp. Gotta drink that butter, gotta get that grease. No, you amateurs can't handle me, and no, y'all cannot understand me. I eat butter from a tub, and I call it a dub. As for grease, I drink it from a jug. A son and he asks me what I do for fun. I'll tell him collect money, food, and drugs. Gotta get that bread, I gotta get that butter, and I gotta get that dough, and I gotta get that grease. That's all I know. Bread, butter, grease, and dough. These are the things that I like. I post up in the grocery like, yes, we should fight, and now it's over. You don't have to work, you don't have to feel, you don't have to think, you don't have to peel, you don't have to dance, you don't have to lie, you don't have to steal, you don't have to cry. You just gotta be happy, have a good time, you just gotta party every day. Hey, it's okay, it's alright, it's Slappy, he gotta be your rat today. Hey, Slappy loves to sing do re mi fa sol ti la do. And rap, yo, what's up? gotta be a rat and spread the word, hey. And I like rats cause they don't lie, they don't talk trash, they just do what they do. They don't mind me, they don't mind you. You don't have to be a rat, you don't have to do anything, you just gotta listen to this crap. I don't know why you're here, but I appreciate you anyways. Hey, nice rap, bro. That was clean. The ocean is deep, but how deep? I don't know. And is it deeper than the truth? Tell me. Maybe.
It is no secret that humanity has a tendency to dichotomize. Men and women, rich and poor, the list goes on. Since the dawn of the species, imaginary lines have been drawn to bring people apart. Country borders, black or white, righteous or heathen. Are these lines justified? Do they create a better reality to occupy? It is hard to say. But what is not difficult to understand is that all lines attempt to draw a distinction. These distinctions are, of course, wrong, for their creators seek truth, a system with which reality can be understood. But these creators cannot rise above their humanity and grasp truth with feeble palms, for they are not Slappy! Many have tried to find truth, but the Rat King has found it. But what is that truth? Is it absolute, or is it merely an observation? Dear Seeker, there exists a fundamental dichotomy, one that divides not just humans, but all things, living or not. The truest dichotomy is as follows: there are winners, and there are losers. That is the truth of this world.
Eight tracks in, and I'm still a rat. I'm a pest, I'm a bat, I'm a mosquito, you can't handle me. I'll give you the drink just by being near you. I just realized that
What
I
do
got
you
two
think about
recordings.
that?
That's okay. It's okay.
I don't care. If you don't like it, I'll kill you. Just kidding. I don't care. I'll do that anyways without ever touching you. Hey, yeah, bear. Just kidding. A bear
Listen to
to
this
kill.
guy go,
He just
he
has
can
to
rap.
touch
His
you.
flow's
and you're
insane like an
the
abominable
girl, but
snowman.
I'm
I used
different.
that verse
All I gotta
so
do
much,
is
you don't
be
even
near
know.
you and you die. Bubonic plague, that's my favorite thing. I'm a rat.
Yo.
And that's a fact.
Yo.
Rat 2.
Yo.
Fucking big W on the track.
Pesticin, not septicemic. When I get it, be sure you'll have it. Wake up, hit you like quarantine a barrier. Motherfucker is a carrier. I got fleas like a terrier. Nothing make me scarier. Gangrene of seizures, muscle cramps and high fevers. Petri dish, that ain't shit. Let me know when you start growing it. Point a scythe at you, like a bite that moose. Come on, like the flu, turn your white skin blue. No more life to lose. Yeah, I write
My
my
raps.
raps.
You are just mad.
And bad. L. Oh my god, that is such an L.
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 Yeah. Comma, period, comma, period, 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 Life starts with mystery. But what is mystery? And how much does it weigh? It's a question that's plagued my mind with the consistency of the ocean's waves. The ocean, of course, sees no such mystery. It is, after all, unconscious. But I'm not ocean. I'm human. I like food. I like sleep. I like all the things that an animal has ought to like. But there's one thing I've never liked. L's. Elzers. Something about them gets me so angry. It makes me want to find an infant endangered animal such as a African gray elephant and impale it with I don't know, looks like the worst thing to impale something with. with, I don't know, freaking boiling water that's so hot it freezes. Yeah, that would be a good poetic, statement to make on that particular group of people. Not to say that I would do that, but if if laws didn't exist, well. Drugs. What are your thoughts on them? Interesting take. I'll write that down in my book of things that I don't care about writing down because I'm not actually going to write it down. Ooh, roasted. That is the kind of witty, slappy humor that you love. Let's see. What else is on the agenda? This is definitely not a filler track. This is a statement. This is part of it. Let's see here. I could, sorry, I just like humming. Is that gonna be a problem? Well, I'm like 3 minutes in, so I should probably just like, I don't know, peace out and go on to the next track. Bye-bye.
Okay, so thank you all for coming. This is Vinyl Vineyard. I'm White Playboi Carti, your host as always. And as I've mentioned in the past, I have a background in hip-hop, so I do think I have the expertise to talk about these things, but so I want to make it clear that I'm not doing this to like compensate for anything, but I am bringing on a fellow hip-hop artist here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, what's up, White Playboi Carti? It's me, Slappy, top rapper, and before we get into it, I just want to say that I am here to promote my upcoming Rat 2 album, releasing on March 13th. So, yeah, I think that'll do it for introductions. Is there anything else I need to say right now? No, I think that'll do it for that introduction.
Yeah, we weren't exactly able to meet up because of the COVID pandemic, so we're talking over Skype right now. But I hope that everything should go well. So to start off, I was really inspired whenever I heard your album, or at least the demos.
The previews that I sent in.
Yeah. Could you elaborate then about what inspired you to make something so inspiring?
Well, actually, if we're going to answer that question in completion, we're going to have to go back pretty far, I would say, to freshman year of high school. So this would be around 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. And, well, basically, I got into anime, and that brought me to the first novel of all time, The Tale of Genji, which I read the first page of, and it was so inspired by that I took up writing verse and poetry, and from there it's really just spiraled out, and I've gotten better and better. I've been dropping mixtape after mixtape under various aliases, all building up to the moment where I'm finally ready to, bring it out to the real world under my real name and, change the game with this new album. So I hope that answers your question. I might not have been super specific with it, but it's been so long ago at this point that I started working on this that I can hardly even remember why I began.
I see. Well, you did bring up The Tale of Genji as the first novel of all time, but that really sounds to me a lot like the worst novel of all time. I mean, can you explain that?
Well, yes, because it's the first novel. Obviously, the author had no idea how to write a novel, and it was total shit. But, being the first is something that I realize is super cool. So I want to be the first person to release a Slappy debut album. And when I was talking about inspiration, that's kind of what I meant. I didn't actually read the book. I just read on Wikipedia that it was the first book. And I was like, whoa, holy shit. I need to be the first rapper to change the game.
I see. I think I can see a little bit of that inspiration in some of your tracks that you've put out. But can you elaborate a bit more on sort of the message or theme that you're trying to get across with this? Like, what's your philosophy, and how does that relate to the original inspirations?
Well, how about we go back to my first 2019 single, Slappy's Yacht Club, which kind of changed the game and brought a lot of attention towards me, warranted or not. I mean, it was a very amateurish attempt, but yeah, I'm actually just not going to continue answering that question because, well, I have my reasons, actually.
I That's understandable. Yeah, I would feel the exact same way in your position. Um, well, where do you think you're gonna take this? Like, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years?
Well, obviously, as this is my debut album, I really do doubt that it's going to be my magnum opus. In fact, I'm pretty confident that my greatest album will come in 2025, because that is the year that Kanye will be just getting into his presidency, just starting to make changes. And yeah, when that happens, I think that the political, sociological landscape will finally be open for me to drop something that'll really let people see into my mind. But as for, I guess, what would be on that album, rather than just the idea of quality or whatever, I wanna focus on dichotomies and trying to figure out what it is, why we draw lines the way we do. Could there be curved lines? Could there be dashed lines? Right now, I just feel like everybody is drawing these straight lines with their pens and their pencils, and I think that that's just kind of sad. I want to bring feather and ink back. I want to bring chalk back, on concrete. I just think that there's not enough variation on drawing distinctions and borders between things.
Well,
So I want to kind of help on that.
this is all very abstract and hypothetical. I mean, how are you so confident that Kanye West is going to win the presidency in 2024?
Oh, I have my sources. I have my sources. I'll just say that. I can't go much further into that if I want to be okay. We'll just, yeah.
Well, I will trust you. Secrecy is very important in these kinds of endeavors, hence why, you're not even revealing your track list until the day before the album's dropping. So,
Well, that's actually not true. The track list comes out March 10, which is actually today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to be ready to receive that. I'll be putting it out on my social medias. I'll be putting it out on the side of Planes and on a Blimp. Actually, we're working with an ad run with Goodyear right now. So it'll be there later today, actually.
oh, well,
Although the track list will be subject to change until the release date, because the volatile nature of these things means that you can't always expect features or whatever to work out perfectly.
well, I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of features, I heard there was some drama behind the scenes. Could you say something about that?
I can't get too into it because of NDAs and just not wanting to spark up drama where it's not necessarily needed. But basically, there have been some creative differences between me and Playboy Carti, who was going to show up on the album, but since hearing the beats that I was pushing, I guess, onto him, he tapped out and replaced it with Big W. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's an upcoming, top tier artist. I really do think that he more so than most has the potential to change the game. And there are a few other features that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about. I'd have to go over with the label, see what they say on that.
Well, while we're on the same topic, I was curious as well as to sort of the creative flow that you get into. Like, how do you decide who to bring on as a feature? Like, what songs do you think suit that? And as well, like, just whenever you're going through the process of making songs, like, just can you walk us through your sort of flow?
Well, okay, so for starters, I set a timer on my phone for 1 hour, and and I get 1 hour to make a track from start to finish, because for me, it's about capturing the moment. And if you go too long, you kind of lose the brevity that makes a track so exciting and electric. So yeah, I do try to keep it down to freestyles, although there are a few written verses in there. Never the whole song, just like kind of guidelines. And as for the features, well, I like to give them creative freedom. So I really just say, do your thing, I'll make it work. And then we leave it at that most of the time.
I see. That reminds me a lot of how indie artists will often use the first take of recording a song because they see it as more, I guess, true to themselves. Do you think that...
Yeah, it's all about that rawness that I'm trying to capture.
I see. Yeah, I was going to ask if you subscribe to a similar philosophy. There's one more thing that I'd like to ask. What were you doing before rapping? How did you get into it?
Oh, well, before rapping, I was a yacht salesman, actually, for a while. I didn't have much success with it, though, so I kind of made the natural transition. But, yeah, I just sold yachts mostly. And I ghost writ a bunch of top-tier albums. Like, I still can't say which ones because the NDAs have not expired yet, but you've definitely heard them, and a few have gone platinum. So I'm just saying, I am a kind of a veteran when it comes to these things.
Yeah, I heard there was one. I don't want to give away any info because, yeah, NDAs, but I think it rhymes with Pillmatic, if I remember correctly.
I mean, we can't go any further than that. Let's just cut it there. I
Yeah.
can't risk that.
No, don't worry. Well, I think that's all the time that we have for today, so thank you for coming on.
All right, well, thanks for having me. And before I go, I just want to say one more time that my album is dropping March 13th. Rat 2 is going to go big. We're going to get 10s out of 10s on every critic's review. It'll be crazy. I'll just leave you with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.